your 2010 Olympic performance. Maybe you could just describe a little bit how you feel about it, and just from your perspective, what was that like?
I guess to start with, going to the Olympics was beyond our wildest dreams. We had no idea what to expect, really none. All the coaching and the team they put together to support us in Vancouver was amazing, but they had never coached teams in Canada, in their own country, when curling is, on the rise and so popular. And one of the CCA coaches, I remember him after our very first game, Jerry Peckham, and he came up to me and he grabbed me by both shoulders and he said, "Cheryl, I've never have seen and never will see anything like this again." It was beyond what anybody had ever thought.
Hmm. And when he said
Which,
when he said that no one's ever seen anything like this, what was he exactly describing to you?
well, he'd been to 4 prior Olympics, and I think it was the crowds and how Canada was just like the venue and the noise and standing up in the middle of the curling games and singing, "Oh, Canada." And my players, when I would come down to throw, they'd have to bend down right beside me to hear what I would say about what weight I was throwing. It was unbelievably loud, and it was because Canadians, they were cheering on their team, and I loved it, but it was so unbelievably hard to get used to at first because in normal venues, curling is very quiet. It's more like golf.
Is there anything more you want to say? Like, how high was that?
Yeah, it was it was interesting because Penny Worthner, who was our sports psychologist and still is, she sat us down before we headed to the Olympics, and she said, "You know what? You guys can either go out on the ice during those Olympics, and you can choose to view the 30 million plus Canadians cheering you on as a positive or as a negative."
Mm.
So you can either say, "This is amazing. We have 30 million fans," or, "Oh my God, we have 30 million people counting on us to medal." And you know what? So we did really sit down and we made that conscious choice to view it as a positive thing. And I was so happy that we did that before we went, because when we got there, I don't think had we realized it would have been so much pressure. And instead we turned it around in our mind to being so much support.